So keep in mind as you're working on cueing your students, animal students, human students, do not have the knowledge you have. And the more you know, the harder this is to strip out the knowledge and go back to that state of, Buddhists call it beginner's mind, right? So the curse of knowledge means that experienced teachers have to continually try to put themselves in the mindset of their learners who are lacking lots of the information you have. All right, we've got our empathy, we've got our overreaching motivation for why we would care about this topic. Let's get into some of the science now. I don't see any questions. It may be because I'm not actually looking. I'm focusing on teaching. I'm not looking at the chat box. So let's start off with this just discrimination, right? Then these English words here. Maybe it's just an artifact of English that there are these two words. I'm not multilingual, so bear with me, folks who speak a lot of languages. I think in English, it's very easy for us to presume that commands and cues are the same thing, okay? So, oh, someone just said things were clear up until now. I don't know what that means. So commands are not cues. Cues is not a politically correct, nicer way to say commands. They are functionally different. Oh, yay, thanks, Mary. So first off, both cues and commands are antecedents. If that word is new to you, bear with me. We'll get to it on the next slide here, but bear in mind, they're both stimuli that precede the behavior we're looking for in our animals. Right? Training is all about behavior. We could play a drinking game, and every time I said the word behavior in this webinar, we would take a shot. No, we can't do that. I'm going to say the word behavior a lot because that's what training is about. It's about influencing the frequency of behaviors in our animals, in our learners, right? So the stimuli that precede those behaviors, we're going to call them antecedents. Commands and cues are both antecedents, but they're different in their meaning. So commands are warnings or at least low-level threats. Right? Commands tell animals, do this thing or else. Now the or else can be relatively benign, but it does mean if you don't move, I'm going to help you. Now that help could be painful. I could apply shock in a collar. Ugh, please don't. That might be one training strategy. I could apply pressure to a choke chain. I could apply my hands to your body and literally make you move. Well, you can for some animals. I've trained walruses and whales and elephants. Not so easy to push them into compliance, but for a lot of animals, commands mean you have a window of time to move. If you don't, I'm going to compel you to move at the end of that. Right? So we call those discriminative stimuli. That's what the SD is. Stimuli, superscript small d, discriminative stimuli, signaling opportunities for the animal to avoid punishment, to avoid an aversive. Okay, they signal an opportunity, but it's to avoid something. Right? Cues are go signals. They're like green traffic lights. They say, now you can do this fluent behavior that already has a reinforcement history, this already likely behavior, right? Cues, we're going to say this a few times, never make behaviors happen. They never did, they never will. Cues don't have that power. They seem like they do. We're under the constant illusion that they do, but they don't.